So I'm speaking to you from my office here in beautiful Cutler Mills in Warren, Rhode Island. And for the past 30 years, my work's focused on the central role of community colleges and workforce development. And I've mostly worked nationally. I ran a consulting think tank that did work in 23 states and with scores of regions, and spent the last 3 years at the Community College of Rhode Island, right here at home, and stepped down in November to get back into the national scene. And um, community colleges really have a resource base unmatched by any other training entity in the country. And they really provide a ticket to the middle class and beyond for so many Americans. It used to be a high school diploma would cut it for many entry-level jobs. Really, most of what community colleges offer are really that now ticket to the middle class, as I say. And my vision has been to build a national community college resource, especially aimed at the 64.5 million people who, well, that's a pre-COVID number, but the 64.5 million working learners, as I call them, people who, are working at least 20 hours a week, and, they're in the muddle. They have bills to pay, they have kids to feed, they don't necessarily have the time to get on campus, but they need training and credentials to get ahead. And not to mention the 32 million employers that need to hire them and complain incessantly about about the skills mismatch. And but it's difficult. Community colleges are not a system, even in states where there are many of them, they kind of operate within their own regions. They're difficult. They can be very difficult to work with. They're hard to access. To register for a course at community college often takes like our research has found 7 to 12 clicks. They're often, employers don't know how to find them. As I said, they're not a system. So I started consulting when I stepped down from CCRI back, and in the beginning of the year, took on a project with this organization called Social Tech, which is a social benefit. It's a B corporation based in Austin, Texas, but it's distributed. And Social Tech develops technology for social good. They started as one of a number of projects in my portfolio, and essentially the work with them, which I'll talk about, just basically took over my life. And so a few weeks ago, I just kind of waved the white flag, and said, okay, I will join full time. So I'm now part of this startup, calling myself Chief Marketplace Engagement Officer with Social Tech. We're part of an Adventures Accelerator University at USC, University of Southern California. And our flagship initiative, and here, best way to do this is just to show you my desktop. Our flagship initiative is an online marketplace for short-term workforce training built by community colleges for working learners and employers that we call Unmudl, and hence Unmudl Your Future. Unmudl looks a lot like pick your favorite online marketplace, Airbnb, Amazon, etc. Oops, wait, let me go back a second here. Unmudl, I started the wrong place in my little deck here. I'm not showing you the live site because they're actually doing some work on it this morning. So what I'm showing you is exactly the way it looks. I could flip over there at some point. So here we go. Looks like a marketplace, and that's the intent, not like a place that's really super hard to navigate. The 5 founding colleges of Unmudl are listed in this band at the top. There's 2 in Arizona, 2 in New Mexico, 1 in Washington State. My initial work has been to expand that founding group from 5 to 15 founding colleges. And it's a partnership model. They have a piece of profit sharing, these first companies, and there's a revenue split. But and what I'm doing now is building out, and these are all really leading colleges. They're leaders in workforce development, building demand-driven solutions. And and what I'm doing now is building out, bringing in sort of filling out the all-star cast of colleges and bringing in, eventually we'll have 1 or 2 in each state. Our limit will be about 100 colleges in the country. What distinguishes Unmudl is really the fact that it's by and for community colleges, and that it's built around some pretty strong analytics. So individuals who come here will be able to plug in information about themselves and personalize their futures. They'll be able to see based on their skills and interests, what are the jobs in their area or other parts of the country or online that they may want to explore, and then very precisely what courses will help them get there. And our goal is to get people the most immediate attachment possible, which of course, you know, as as the world is now trying to grapple with just the complete overhaul of business models as we see them, training is a huge piece. So that 64.5 million people plus is, you know, everyone is looking for change. The employers are looking to upskill and reskill, as are individuals. And I should say, training for this market is a $535 million market in the US alone, and community colleges currently own less than 1%. So, so you can personalize your future. We're able to show courses and, you know, display them in all sorts of ways. Here we have in demand and highest rated. We're helping colleges monetize skill services that they may not otherwise monetize, like resume assistance or prior learning assessments. And we are, and we have no advertising as a B Corp. Where we're basically working with the colleges to capture stories and promoting them via our blog and social media. And so, for example, the way this can work and the way we begin to access this broad network, PIMA offers training for autonomous vehicle technicians. They do a lot of work with the autonomous vehicle industry. So they're going to make courses available that are part of their certificate for autonomous vehicle techs that anyone who possesses a commercial driver's license, if they pass a test associated with these two courses, can get an entry-level job. So PIMA puts their course online, and then colleges throughout this network become places where people can go to get that testing. And we're going to be replicating that in 100 different ways, as well as a competitive marketplace. So we have a pretty sophisticated function for searching and filtering programs. So if someone wants to look at project management, say, they can call up the courses in Unmudl and project management, and they can sort them by dates and ratings and location and price, and, you know, some more advanced features. They can then compare. I'm giving you the super fast version of this. Compare up to 3 courses at a time. One thing we're doing that's of great interest to folks, we've done a lot of, it's all end user design based. Both the working learners and employers really want to see who's hired someone who's taken a given course. So we're going to include corporate logos as a signaling, which I think is really key. And then, you know, folks can see details on a given course. They can get all the details where it's happening, what do the reviews look like. They can, let's see, the enrollment, you know, as I said, it takes 7 to 12 clicks to enroll. Here, it's 2 clicks and you're in. To make it super easy, we can use gift cards and gift codes. And, you know, that can come from employers sending us 5,000 people. You know, I had a conversation the other day with Amazon about helping to train, you know, 10,000 cloud computing folks. You know, we want to be a resource for them. Colleges have their own websites. We can see what their courses are and how they're rated, who their instructors are and how they're rated. Whoops. And then the learners have their own pages. I want to show you one more thing before I shut up and we go to Q&A. So just to show you how the technology works. So say someone wants to check out this digital media bootcamp. If they click on this course, they can then see that this course will get them 15 credits for a digital media marketing certificate or 12 credits towards an associate's degree. If they then look for details on that course, whoops, they can then, come back. If they look for the details on that course, they can see very specifically the classes associated with it. They can also then look in that moment and see the job prospect for people who are graduating from jobs for which that course you know, can help them get that job in their region, in another region, or nationally. I'm going to leave it there so we can have a little conversation.
I wish we had the mind blown emoji on Zoom, Julian. I'm so impressed. Who knew you were working on this back when you were coming into our space in January and February?
Well, you know, the truth was, it's funny, I was approached when I was at CCRI and I wanted to get the Rhode Island involved. So for example, I envision, we did a whole bunch of work aligning with, working with the governor and her team in economic development and, and Scott and team over at Labor to really align the college, which had never really been done before, with the state's economic priorities. So for example, we did all this work to say General Dynamics electric boat, training 1,500 people a year. Well, for that same preparation, we could have been training 15,000 up and down the coast. And then when we go global, as my friend Lyle at the Naval War College tells me, another 150,000 in China. So it becomes a new revenue stream, a new way of reaching people, and then leveraging this resource base, which is needed by so many of the individuals we're looking to reach.
Yes, Julian, I have one very selfish question. A lot of my friends are adjunct professors.
Yeah.
We graduated from grad school about the same time. Do you see this being a tool for them so that they could reach out to and kind of build their network of colleges that they're teaching in so they could teach?
Yes, that is such a great question, because one of the biggest issues, like we just had a meeting of all the presidents involved. We now have 7 colleges, and I have about 15 more that are kind of waiting in the dogs, about to start talking to employers. Colleges are freaking out because they don't, especially for the synchronous learning, they don't have enough instructors. So yes, I could help your friends if they have, if they teach in the areas of need that these colleges are focusing on, they could adjunct from home forever.
Yeah, right. And, use that to build instead of trying to do all the local colleges where they're.
I mean, I want them to work in the local colleges, don't get me wrong, but they can definitely do both. And, again, it's part of the new world, right?
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, and then we did have a question from Avi saying, do you see this platform leading to the consolidation of offerings from various community colleges? I.e.
Yes.
like, yeah.
I do, Avi. Yeah, it's a good question. For example, we were just invited to submit a grant to the National Science Foundation. And part of what we're talking about is working to bring some advanced technologies to these colleges. So going back to that HEMA example, equipping HEMA to work with, sophisticated technology that allows them to do simulations and artificial intelligence, augmented virtual reality. Well, to think that every college would need that technology is just ridiculous. And that's part of the problem too. Every college and their sister is trying to run exactly the same programs, and we don't need it. There are certainly places where we do, and tremendous needs, but for specialization where it's expensive, absolutely not.